And I joked with Mike. I said, when I get dressed up as you, I'm gonna walk into your house, and your kids are gonna say, "Daddy's home." I said, "Hey, kids, go get me something to drink. Daddy's hungry. Go get me something I want to eat."
If there was a pill
Hungry for that money, I'm coming to devour.
that could give you 5 minutes
Spit it so they get it. I'm embedded with the power.
of pure power,
I'm embedded with the power.
would you take it?
I honestly believe we live in the golden age of superpowered stories. We're seeing whether it's comic book adaptations. Jamie, you've had some experience with Mark Webb and The Great Amazing Spider-Man 2. I loved your Electro. I thought it was great.
Thank you.
Specifically, knowing what you know about this genre, what does a project like this have to have in order to get you to say yes and sign on?
Before it becomes supernatural, it has to have the natural. My character art and the wonderful Dominique Fishback's character Robin, we had to connect like this before anything crazy happens. Because I think when I look at Star Wars, right, which to me is a case study of movies, the reason that Star Wars was great was not because of the lightsaber, it was because of Luke Skywalker. You know, it was because of Han Solo. It was because of this band of people, you know, saying Princess Leia, that you, even if they were ordering food, it would still be interesting. So that was the main thing. And then the fact that you never heard of this. You never heard of a pill that you could take on the street and give you superpowers for 5 minutes.
Right.
That's crazy.
You know, I took a couple of years off of acting when I became a dad. And my first job back was this extremely challenging movie called 7500.
Sure.
Also just came out, by the way, but it's very intense drama. And after that, I just wanted to do something fun. And so when I read this script and saw that it was Jamie Foxx and New Orleans, I was like, this is going to be fun. And it was. And I think that's a big part of why it's fun to watch. You know, things that are fun to make are often fun to watch.
Welcome to Project Power. Our goal is simple: the next evolution of the human species.
You ever taken one of those before?
What do you need? You still got the pills on you?
It's about to get real noisy.
So that's your power.
Without giving away any specifics, I do have to say you are involved in one of the movie's coolest sequences, which starts off as a standoff and then escalates to a multi-person gunfight. And what I'd like you to do, if you could, is just sort of walk me through the choreography of that scene and the preparation that went into it, and then pulling it off on the day or multiple days, I would assume, to make that happen.
You got that right. So it is a long sequence. We rehearsed a lot first. The choreography took a while so we really could get it down. We divided into different pieces and then we combined it all together. And then we shot a couple of times, separate days. But then, you know, the result is amazing because you have to think that there's very minimal CGI in the film. It's all like practical, you know, shooting. So what you see there, of course, there's editing and there's, you know, post-production work, but it was shot, literally shot. So that sequence that you're referring to, it's beautifully done.
Well, and not to give any spoilers away, but you have some crazy fight sequences with some powerful beings. And I'm just curious what it looks like on set to try to mix it up with an invisible man or someone who is elastic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, those two examples, Corey, who plays the sort of camouflage man, and Xavier, who plays the elastic man, they actually are really extraordinary athletes. It's not all just visual effects. Like Corey is incredible at parkour, and Xavier is like, he's crazy double jointed, and they enhanced it with the digital effects, but he really can bend his limbs in a crazy way. So I think, you know, you got to hand it to Henry and Rel, the filmmakers of this movie. They didn't want to just rely on digital visual effects. They always wanted to incorporate some element of practical reality. And I think that really makes it feel more substantial when you watch it.
We're gonna end this.
It's time to rise. It's time to rise.
Netflix has been on a hot streak in terms of delivering high-powered action, whether it's the Russo brothers giving us Extraction or Charlize Theron doing The Old Guard. I want to know what it means to both of you guys to still be able to deliver this big screen-worthy entertainment at a time where we're waiting for our theaters to open.
I feel completely honored. When we filmed it, we couldn't have even imagined how it would play out. And so it's sad, it's kind of sad that we don't get a premiere. I don't get to be in a room with Jamie and Joe to celebrate it. And at the same time, we get to give this movie, this experience to people who probably are like thirsting for just a little bit of levity and excitement and just something to look forward to.
When you take on a role like Biggie, who's complicated for a number of different reasons, do you have to believe his philosophies in order to better play him, or are you able to be on a completely different page as him and still find some way to connect?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I have to be able to be in a completely different page. If I believe, half of the things of the characters that I played, man, I don't know what would be left of me. Played a lot of, villains and guys that did a lot of wrong stuff. No, I mean, I do research a lot, and you have to try to get under their skin somehow. You have to humanize, the characters. They're people at the end of the day. So I do research, and in the moment when I'm working, yes, I'm in that mindset. But no, I would never do the things that Biggie does. I don't believe in what he believes, not at all.
What's the plan now?
You took something from me. I gotta get it back.
Something or someone.
I love Don John. I have circled. I've had Wingmen on my radar ever since it was even announced. How much closer are we to that becoming a reality?
Yeah, that movie, who knows if it'll ever happen. It's always funny when movies get into the press before they're real. But I am writing and directing and acting in a project that I've been developing for years. I'm really, really excited about, called Mr. Corman. It's a show actually for Apple, and it should be out next year. And we were in the middle of shooting it when the pandemic hit, and so we'll hopefully go back into production sometime soon. But this is it's a real opportunity for me to kind of fulfill my own very personal kind of creative tastes and tendencies. And if you liked Don John, I mean, this is a very different character and it's a very different story and world, but yeah, in a way it's the next thing that I'm doing, that where I get to really take control of all aspects of it, the story, the music, the editing, the design, the everything, all the stuff that I love playing with.
I was very late to the Westworld train. I ended up binging seasons 1 and 2 before season 3 started. I just need to hear how hard it must be to protect spoilers like that for fans who you don't even know where they are in the show. Like, how do you approach that?
Yeah, man. It's interesting because we don't know much as actors. It's not like we have it all down and we know everything and we have all the scripts in advance. We don't. We never have. It's part of the experience. We're not allowed to talk much at all. And yeah, like I remember the first time I was at Comic-Con, and fans, they came up and they were like, with all these theories about the park, the very first season. And it blew my mind because I never thought about it. So I started to learn with them. I'm like, yeah, tell me more, because I love that theory.
Yeah.
It is a very specific, show because of that. And also there are a lot of theories behind, and there's a lot of layers. It's a very, in that way, it explores human nature in a very profound way, and technology and all that. So it was hard to keep, information from people, but we also never really had a lot of information that we could share.
Dominique, I can't believe this, but this morning I was lucky enough to see the trailer for Judas and the Black Messiah.
Oh, you saw it?
I was on an event and they showed it, and it just looks like a knockout. And so I need to ask you, like, tell me about Deborah Johnson and why is that project going to be so important?
Just the simple fact that Shaka King, he came to me and said, I have this role for you. And I was like, you mean you ain't gonna ask nobody? Like, you don't have to, no, I want it for you. And I said, oh, okay. So one, and I'm like, but is the family involved? Like, what's going on with that? I think so highly of the Panthers. I'm very protective of our history in that way. I feel like they've been painted as villains a lot. And so I don't want to add any of that. I'm all love. And the way that Ryan Coogler and Charles King and Shaka King, like, gave love and understanding and patience and kindness towards the family as we navigated this film was just it was a true blessing to me. I felt safe in that. And then Daniel Kaluuya has become such a great friend to me. Deputy Chairman Fred Hampton of the Illinois Black Panther Party. He's just transformative, and LaKeith as well. Like my life, I feel like my life changed. It was a beautiful experience.
Daniel looks like he's on fire in that movie.
Woo! Yes.
I can't wait to see it. Mr. Foxx, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you what is the hardest part about preparing to be Iron Mike Tyson?
You know what? It's a blessing in this one. Obviously, the training is different. We're doing like pull-ups, like weighted pull-ups to sort of make the back look the right way and make the arm look a certain way. But it is, to me, I guarantee you, it's the most dedicated I've been to making sure that this story gets told the right way. And I joke with Mike, I said, when I get dressed up as you, I'm gonna walk into your house and your kids are gonna say, Daddy's home. I say, hey kids, go get me something to drink. Daddy's hungry. Give me something I wanna eat. So I just got off the phone with him yesterday. He's still writing another chapter in his life. He's getting ready to box. He's 226 pounds. He looks fantastic. He's calm. He's happy. You haven't seen this Mike in years, and he's happy about it. You know, some people are sort of tortured, but he was a little worried until the story leaked and everything like that. And he saw that. I said, Mike, everybody wants to see this movie. So full steam ahead. And like I said, I can't wait for that journey for you to see how that journey turns out.
I showed my 12-year-old Inception this past weekend. It was his first Nolan. I figured that was the way to ease him in. So we're looking forward to seeing it on the big screen to celebrate 10 years, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. Do The Prestige next.
Yes, good idea. Good idea. Thank you.